Hello. So this is day 3 of my Super Metroid revisit. Um, I've been having such a blast replaying this game. I just love the atmosphere so much. The sense of progression in Metroid games is just so satisfying. Uh, just getting lost in the labyrinthine tunnels of Zebes. It's the best. So yeah, I'm gonna jump right in. I think my controls should be the same. Yep. So you can see all the areas. So Criteria, Wreck Ship, Brinstar, Norfair, Maridia, which we're gonna head to today, I believe. And Torian in the middle at the end. It's kind of cool that it does show you the map, so you can kind of confirm where you're going. I do need to head back. I don't think I have that part of the map on the right unlocked yet. It kind of spoils that. Oh yeah, I got the gravity suit. I love the gravity suit so much. I love the aesthetic. Oh, I do have it. Okay. Just haven't been over there yet. So yeah, it is a cloudy, rainy day where I'm at, so it just feels very cozy, just getting lost in a Metroid game on like a rainy night. It's just the best. I love just getting like cozy with a game when it's raining outside. I like this game's whole like vibe and atmosphere kind of fits that as well. I associate rain with Metroid a lot, I think, because of this game. When it starts, it's raining, and Metroid Prime is like that as well. Feels like a very Metroid motif. What are we doing here? Same with snow, actually, because I feel like I often play Metroid games and oh yeah, I can just move freely. Oh, it's so nice. It's so satisfying. Yeah, I've played a lot of Metroid games in winter because the first Metroid games I played, as I mentioned yesterday, I think, were Prime 1 and Fusion, when they both came out the same day back in the day, which is so strange and incredible. I feel like that will never happen again. But I think they did, at least in North America. And I got those for Christmas, so I have like a lot of memories of playing Prime 1 and being in like that creepy lab in Phendrana Drifts, and it was like snowing outside right after Christmas. And that was like my first Metroid experience, so really special. I think Zero Mission came out right around my birthday, or maybe even on my birthday. I can't remember for sure, but I think it came out in February. So my birthday is February 9th. So I'd have to look up when Zero Mission came out, but I think it was right around then. I think I might have got it for my birthday and played it around then. And Prime 2, I think, was also at Christmas. So yeah, just a lot of cozy winter Metroid memories. Even Samus Returns, I think I played. It came out towards the end of the year, but I think I played it in like December, November, around then. And Dread, it actually took me a while to get around to Dread. I didn't play it right when it came out. I played it... When did I play it? Last year, maybe? Start of last year? or the year before. I played it right at the beginning of the year, so that was also in like winter time. So yeah, something about just the isolation and vibes of winter I feel like is kind of suited to Metroid. That and like rainy, kind of quiet, calm weather. So my favorite part of Metroid is always the atmosphere. Always the vibes. It's kind of my favorite part of a lot of games, honestly. It's always one of the most important things to me about games. Definitely, Zelda is like that as well for me. That's why Breath of the Wild is so important to me, and I love it so much because, you know, like, there's stuff about it I can criticize. You know, I was kind of bummed. Didn't really have kind of bigger, cooler dungeons and all that too, but it was hard to care when the atmosphere was so incredible and engrossing and just unforgettable. The game has just such like a specific feel to it that I just love so much. But like the atmosphere in like older Zelda games, like in the dungeons and stuff, was always so good too. There's an item down there. Right, I think I X-ray scanned it last time, and it's like a energy reserve tank. I kind of forgot those were a thing. I was looking at the manual again last night. Remember that. Like Mega Man style, like reserve tanks. Oops. Okay, so there is a passage over here I didn't really check out. Where does that lead? Oh, I didn't know that could happen. One thing that's not in this game, I think... When did they add it? It might have been added in Metroid 2, honestly, and it just isn't in this game. I can't remember for sure. Is the... just the ability to jump with the morph ball instead of having to always bomb jump. I think that was a really smart, like, nice addition. You really can't get over there? Interesting. I wonder if we go over to the left more. So satisfying. I was saying yesterday that Metroid games are some of the most satisfying ever to 100%. Just get all the upgrades. Despite the fact I don't think I ever actually have gotten quite 100% in this game. I always like end up getting to 98 or 99. And I think that's just because there's no way to tell, and I think when I played it back in the day, I just didn't like look it up or anything. I just kind of hoped I'd found everything and then just finished the game. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do it this time. I might just look up towards the end, like how many missiles there are. I think there's like 255, I want to say, is max missiles. I'm not sure. I know it's like the same in every Metroid game. I think it's always a certain number. I think it might be that. I can't remember for sure. I really want to see if there's something over there. Oh, got it. I was gonna say I'm not the best at bomb jumping, but I feel like I am better at it in other Metroid games. Oops. I love how much momentum you get with that. It's really fun. You can really just kind of like go like, woo, all the way. Whoa, cool. I remember I came out of there. That would be cool if you could go up there and kind of like sequence break. Oh, I don't even have to do this, do I? Yeah. Now that I have the gravity suit. So at the end of last stream, I did this area and defeated Fantoon. So I got 2 of the big bosses down. Still Dragon and Ridley to go. Dragon's the weirdest one because they Kraid, Ridley, and even Fantoon all kind of went on to become pretty iconic and recur in other Metroid games. I think Fantoon is only in one other game, but Kraid and Ridley are in a couple of them. If you count remakes anyway. But Dragon was kind of just in this game. I think, at least. Could be wrong. I mean, I have not played Prime 4 yet, and I haven't played Prime Hunters, Federation Force, or Prime Pinball. Those are the only ones I haven't played, so maybe Dragon shows up in Prime Pinball for all I know. Probably not, but I think that game is just like a pinball retelling of Prime 1. I do, I was saying before, I do forget a lot about Fusion, though. That's the one I really need to replay the most. So it's entirely possible Dragon was in that. I don't think so, though. And I do remember some of the bosses. Like the Nightmare boss, I remember. And I know you fight like at least a version of Ridley in that game, like a clone. Shit, will this not work again? Because I missed something. There was something on the floor down there. Okay, there we go. Interesting there's a Chozo statue in here. Because we're in the wrecked ship. So why would there be a Chozo statue in the wrecked ship? Unless this was a Chozo ship. The manual says the robots were built by like ancient man, but the manual could just be wrong. It could just be like Western localizers wrote that. I'm not sure. Unless the Chozo found the ship and put it there. Yeah, these robots. That's what I meant. Another one, too. Huh. Look at this cheekiness. So cool. I love that kind of thing. Secrets within secrets. That's such like a troll, too. Um, I could just be using the X-ray scope. Oh, this is like a shine spark area. I don't have that yet. Dang. I forgot about that ability. Such a cool ability. Interesting, it just freezes the... It like freezes time when you use this. Because the conveyor belt freezes. Oh. Interesting. That's probably how you're able to get enough room to activate it. Alright, come back. The suit wasn't in a Chozo statue, it was just kind of there, which is kind of interesting. The suit was being stored in the ship. But Samus's power suit is... So there's another way over to like Maridia. How do you get over there? Yeah, Samus's suit is Chozo made, so maybe it is a Chozo ship. I loved seeing that displayed in like Metroid Dread. All the Chozo warriors had like the power suit on. I think that was maybe the first time in the series we'd kind of seen Chozo wearing the suit. It was cool in Dread just to see living Chozo and like have that more fleshed out. And it felt like it's cool that they've been like a mystery and stuff, and I appreciate that, but it felt appropriate because that game was meant to be like Sakamoto's kind of... It feels like it was meant to be like his swan song, kind of like his personal conclusion to kind of like the Metroid story he had been telling and working on since the 90s. Because, I think he might be retiring soon if he hasn't already. There's kind of rumors that maybe he already has retired, but I'm definitely not sure at all about that. Because there's just a lot of senior Nintendo developers that have been retiring lately. Hideki Kono, the Mario Kart producer, Takashi Tezuka, which is huge. He's like the co-creator of Mario and Zelda, basically. He was always kind of like working in the shadows beside Miyamoto. Never got the same credit as Miyamoto. I think he deserves a lot more credit. Miyamoto deserves credit too, of course, but Tezuka has contributed so much, directed so many legendary games. I think he directed A Link to the Past, Mario 3, I think, Mario World. Or at least, like, you know, was heavily involved in all those games. Who else retired? Kensuke Tanabe, who was the producer of a lot of games, including Metroid Prime. And yeah, Nintendo's not always clear about it. Tanabe just said, I think Tanabe just dropped in an interview, he said Prime 4 is his last game at Nintendo, and it's like, okay. But yeah, no real official announcement from Nintendo, which they probably won't do, unless it's like Miyamoto. And Miyamoto's just having a blast doing his movie stuff. I don't expect him to really retire anytime soon. Okay. Right, so the gravity suit, now we can go up here. Okay. It's a very classic video game obstacle right here. So you just gotta go fast, you're kind of screwed. It's kind of... I guess you could like jump off. I think that's kind of a jankily designed realm. Because you kind of just gotta go in one go, or else you're just kind of screwed. You just take a bunch of damage. Unless I'm missing something there. That's interesting. Oh, because I had the wave beam, which shoots through stuff, I think. So I shot like the door from down below. Oh, is this how you get that item I saw? Let's see what's down below first. I love how part of the ship is like flooded because it's like sitting in a lake. And it's cool, you can see in the background, like on the way into the wreck ship, like the background kind of changes to like this giant lake or ocean back there. Oh, an E-tank. It's interesting that Chozo's feet aren't real. Because you just clip through them. Is this just gonna be death? Yep. Had to check. Just like filling in the whole map. Yeah, like in the background there, you can see like the giant kind of ocean and lake that comes over here with the mountains in the background. It's what you imagine what the entire surface of Zebes looks like, because like the whole planet's not just like this one underground complex you explore in this game. But we'll never know because spoilers for the end of this game, because it blows up. That's just kind of what Samus does at the end of these games. Or I don't know, Sam. It's not really Samus's fault. Just some space pirate self-destruct sequence. I don't know. Going back down to Maridia. There's like a technique to this that I just kind of forget. Oh, it's just... Interesting. This reminds me of an area in like Metroid 2. I feel like at least in Samus Returns, I feel like there was a big room that was kind of like this. Though I guess like a lot of Metroid games have the whole like morph ball maze kind of sections. Damn, what was up there? X-ray is so useful for this kind of section. Just seeing if there's like a little missile upgrade or something hidden somewhere in all this. Oh, it's just my beam. It's very strange, there's just like nothing here. Maybe I'm missing something. I guess I just wanted like some kind of organic feeling tunnel system. This is cool. Getting to like an elevator room in Metroid is always so exciting. Though I know where this leads, obviously down to Maridia. getting some like static with my headphones. Give me 1 second. Might have fixed it. It might just be the sound in the game too, you know, because it's like an older game. But I've got this weird headphone set up so I can like have them connected to my TV. So sometimes it gets kind of like staticky and I have to like reset it, like turn it off and on and stuff. Let's just drop down. So I really like Maridia. I always associate it with like, this is when like you really feel like you're getting like late in the game, like later in the game. Roughly the halfway point maybe, but... And I just think there's some really cool stuff here. And when I think of Super Metroid's atmosphere, I often think of this area because it's so haunting with the music and everything. I feel like often I really like the water areas in Metroid games. The water area in Dread is maybe my favorite area in that game too. The Prime games and stuff. Because of the atmosphere. You know, I always say like I get the hate for water levels because the movement can be slow and all that, but they usually always have like really thick atmospheres, which is my jam. That said, like that sand pit section I remember being like really annoying, so we'll see when we get there. I got stuck there yesterday. I thought that was where I had to go. And it's so weird because the game locks you in there. Like there's a shutter that locks behind you and you just can't get out, I don't think, without the gravity suit. Unless I was missing something, so... That's like really, really awkward design. You just have to die and then respawn at a save point. I kind of feel like I have to be missing something there because it just feels like really janky design for this game, which is otherwise like incredibly well designed. Like a really, really thoughtful level design in this game, so it'll be a little bit of a strange oversight. Unless they just wanted to trap you in and make you feel despair. Which I would kind of appreciate, but it's still kind of strange. Like all this sand and kind of like seaweed, it really feels like this aquatic cavern. It feels like nothing else you've seen on the planet so far. Like you're in a whole new, different region, truly. Can I not kill those? Imagine them making you do this whole area without the gravity suit. Then yeah, maybe. Because the underwater movement without the gravity suit was pretty rough. It was rougher than I remember. Just incredibly slow and like your like kind of momentum changed and everything, like the physics. It was pretty rough. Oops. it again. What's over there? There's a door over there. Can I even get there? Gotta practice those wall jumps. It's locked anyway. It's like a gray door. Interesting. I always get these wrong. Oh yeah, I love this. And then yeah, I love that little preview. It's like, what was all that in there? And you get a slight glimpse of a cool little enemy. And now you're in like this weird frozen section. That's why this is like one of my favorite parts of the game. There's like this creepy like space pirate lab in the middle of it. I always love that stuff, like the abandoned labs in Metroid games. But now we're in Sandpit Hell. And this area is super open. There's a lot of different directions to go in here. You're getting later in the game, so it's like getting even more open. Yeah, it's just not great when you get stuck in that sand. It's very slow. I feel like there's something up there, but I don't think I can get up there. Yeah, the sand is just, it's so janky. God. It's so weird how it works. It's not, I feel like it's just not like in other games with quicksand when you just fall, like in Mario, you just fall on it, you mash the jump button, you jump out. It's like if you mash the jump button, it doesn't work. You just fall further down. So you gotta like slowly press it. Yeah, you gotta like you can't mash it. So it's like kind of counterintuitive with what kind of I'm used to from other games. This is, how do you get up here? Alright, you must like fall down later. Alright, let's go down the pit. Oh, you don't. I thought you fell down here. Guess not. There's gotta be a way to do that, but... Yeah, this is what I remember. This sand is just, it's so annoying. Can you go in here? Nope. But otherwise I do. I just don't like this area. I think here you can fall down. No. I remember falling down like through the sand into a room below, but maybe I'm just thinking of other games, because that's in a lot of games. I think maybe it's right here. thought maybe because it looked like it was kind of like flanked by these two things. Fast-moving crowd. Oh, I'm back here. Oh. So yeah, this is where I got stuck, basically, last time. It's cool, there's like 2 songs here. Yeah, and then, see, I came through here, and then that locks. Unless, can you do this? No? Yeah, you just seem to be, like, stuck. Maybe the wave beam can get it, though. I feel like... the wave beam should be able to activate those. Maybe they thought that would, like, break the game, but who cares? There's all sorts of ways to break the game with, like, sequence breaks and stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's some reason they drew the line there. See, I came in here, and without the gravity suit, I could not make that jump, so I was just, like, stuck. Unless you fall down through the sand here. So yeah, it's just odd the game would be designed like that. If they would just trap you. Maybe I just came here too early somehow, so that was kind of a sequence break I did, I don't know. I feel like I have a distinct memory of getting stuck down in this area in prior playthroughs or my first playthrough. And I hate how these shoot it. Can I even kill, like, you can't even kill them, they just kind of like take pot shots at you. Maybe up here is where you go? See, here you do mash it to get out. It's really awkward. I think this is like maybe the worst thing in this game. I think this game is like a masterpiece. I think it's incredible, but I always remember this part as being like bizarrely awkward. Like it stands out like a sore thumb. I don't know if I can do this. It feels doable, though. I can't go down here, right? It's hard to describe what it feels like trying to jump out of that sand. It's like you're stuck in, like, molasses. It's just like you're trying to like push through it, and it's just like it feels not good. And I get that's the point, you know, but again, it's just compared to, I feel like it's like the worst feeling quicksand in a game. it just doesn't seem like it consistently operates the same way each time. It's really awkward. Alright, so can I go back the way I came then? Because... what the heck? So now I was just saying when I got to Maridia, I'm like, man, I love this area. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. Then I immediately get stuck down in the sand pit. And I'm like, oh yeah, but it does have this part. Oh my god. Okay, so I think the sand, I think that's what it is. The sand, yeah, it's harder to jump. Oh god, I'm dying. It's harder to jump in the sand, so I think that's what's been messing with me too. Yeah, okay, we can go back. Right? Oh my god, get me out of here. Okay, good. Yeah, you get a little glimpse there, the mock droids, which I love. And it's like, were those Metroids? Like, it gives you like a quick little glimpse. I love that. It's a nice little moment. It's very intentional too, because there's nothing else like that tube really in the game. It's almost like a sonic tube. And I feel like it's very intentional to give you like a little glimpse of what appears to be a Metroid, so it creates like this tension, anticipation. Like, are you gonna run into Metroids here? What's going on? Metroid should be at the end of the game, right? The door's locked. Okay. Again, I can't praise the music in this game enough, though. It's so good. It's so good at being kind of like catchy and melodic, while also being just incredibly atmospheric. That's like not an easy thing to do, I feel like. It's just a really interesting soundtrack. They just kind of like really nailed it. Okay, here's where you drop down. Oh, okay. This game and the Prime games probably have the best Metroid soundtracks, in my opinion. I feel like Metroid 1 and 2 kind of have like the one song, you know, and the rest is like atmospheric. Metroid 2 especially, I appreciate how like quiet and eerie that game is. It's kind of like the creepiest game in the series, honestly. And part of it's due to the original Game Boy sound chip. I'm talking about the original Metroid 2, not Samus Returns. Which, I love Samus Returns. I think it's a really cool game. But, like, the atmosphere in the original game is, like, so eerie. And I think they did capture that somewhat in Samus Returns, but... that's, like, the nature of remakes. There's always going to be something different. Or that doesn't quite capture the atmosphere of the original in the same way. I think that's especially true at Game Boy remakes. Like, I really liked the Link's Awakening remake on Switch. I had a couple issues with it, but when they first showed it, I was very skeptical because of the art design and kind of the overly kind of like cutesy like kazoo music they were going with did not fit that game's kind of like tone and uncanny feeling and stuff to me. But when I actually played the game, it was Link's Awakening, right? It still captured a lot of that game's atmosphere and stuff, I felt, with some changes here and there. But that said, there's nothing like the vibe of the original Game Boy Link's Awakening games, like DX and the original black and white one. Like the dungeon music is just so especially like eerie in those games, especially towards the end. And they did some really cool stuff with the dungeon music in the remake. They really went to town on, like, I think it was like Dungeon 6, the Face Shrine, because that's like kind of an important moment in the story. But it's just different. Like, I appreciate both, because in the original version, the original Face Shrine music, and it's still there in the remake, it's just kind of like in the background, kind of. They kind of handled it in an interesting way. Both versions of the song create kind of a different but similar feeling. In the original game, it's just more subtle. It's more like subtly haunting. Whereas in the remake, it's more like overt, like more emotional. And I appreciate both, but I still just think the original game will still always be my favorite version, just probably because it's the original that I played and everything, but I think that Game Boy sound chip and stuff really especially captures like the haunting, uncanny, like surreal kind of feeling of that game when it gets to those points. So where the heck am I going here? That's just back out. It's like nothing here except the sand pit. Unless I'm missing something in the sand pit. Otherwise I gotta backtrack out of here. And then Dread is... I feel like this one aspect of Dread that I've heard get the most criticism, it's the soundtrack. Again, as I think I've talked about a lot in this playthrough, my biggest criticism is how straightforward the exploration is. I feel like there's little true exploration to kind of speak of in that game. It's just heavily breadcrumbing and guiding the player like the whole game almost. Unless they decide to just go backtrack and do like the item acquisition puzzles. But yeah, the soundtrack, it's not great, right? It's not great. It's not as good as this game. It's not as good as Prime. It doesn't like stand out as much, but I think it's kind of better than people give it credit for as well. I think like the water area and the jungle area all kind of had like... The music really set a tone, as Metroid music should do. Like it really like fit the vibe of each area really well, and I still remember it. You know, it like the jungle area was like da 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 da, like that kind of like melody. I'm saying that I don't really remember the water area music. I just remember liking it. Like in the game itself, it fit the atmosphere and stuff. But there were other areas like the lava area that just kind of sucked a little bit. Like that song like wasn't great. It was just kind of like like it just was kind of nothing. I like the opening area theme. It had like that kind of the main Metroid motif in the background, if I remember right. So that was cool. And the boss music I remember being cool, so it has its moments. But yeah, overall, I still think Dread, it's still an atmospheric game, but the atmosphere wasn't like so thick and like isolating like it is in this game, I feel. And like Prime to an extent and stuff in the older games. Um, and you had like Adam talking to you all the time and all that stuff, which kind of takes away from that feeling a bit. So that's why, like, for a game called Dread, I thought it would be really kind of like isolating and like haunting and stuff, right? Like more than it is. I feel like I never felt like the Dread subtitle really was super fitting because like you're just Samus is vulnerable in it, but you still just feel like such a action hero badass in that game with all like attacks you can do and stuff. So, um, I feel like maybe even like Dread fit like game like Metroid 2 more because like the creepy vibes and you never know when you're gonna like run into a Metroid and they just pop out of nowhere. I think in Samus Returns it had like the kind of the beeping Metroid radar. I don't think that was in the original. I could be misremembering, but um, yeah, that game felt like there was a sense of foreboding dread kind of throughout it. But obviously that dread is kind of referring to the Emmy sections, which I did like. I thought they kind of changed them up just enough. But, and like those were really like intense and cool, but still. One thing about the Emmy is they're in those specific zones, so it's not the kind of thing where it's like constant dread throughout the game. It's like specifically in those zones, and it felt kind of like video gamey that they're just kind of contained in those zones. But at the same time, when you saw one of those Emmy doors and you went into the Emmy zone, it was like, oh shit, like, oh fuck, here we go. So like it had that kind of effect, which was cool. Um, so yeah, I don't know. And there are like I mean, they kind of already did the constant stalker throughout the game thing in Fusion. Like Sakamoto already did that there, so he probably just wanted to like kind of explore that concept again, but kind of in a new way. So I respect that. And again, I did like enjoy them. I thought they were cool. I feel like no way this is right. There's no way. I gotta be missing something. There's no way they would send you into Maridia that way and it would just be a dead end. Like, because I know there's another way into Maridia by destroying that glass tube and going that way. I may as well just check. I've come this far. Yeah, this room is so weird. Not really sure how they expect you to do that without getting hit. Probably missing some kind of little strategy there, though. Where am I going? But I come this far, so let's just go check. Just noticed I have a very nice energy number up there. Not anymore, though. Just gonna want to, like... I think there is, like, maybe stuff up here, maybe not. Oh, once I got the screw attack, I can check that. Right, so I think we want to go to the middle passage over there. That A Link to the Past kind of noise. That's what it reminds me of anyway. Isn't it like right here? It's funny that's like hidden. Favorite song. So the way it starts too, where it's just like the ba 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 ba. Just really like builds up. Just narrowly avoided that. Oh, it still hit me. Damn. So curious about this like glowing pink like shaft in the background and there's kind of like this like metal like scaffolding on the side. Is that like an elevator or something, I wonder? I don't know. And you can hear it like throbbing too. It's such interesting little details in the environment. And one thing I am appreciating too about Dread as I play this game is they kind of took the kind of like interesting attention to detail in this game. Like when you find the little guy's corpse next to Kraid with all the bugs crawling on it, like little stuff like that. They took those kind of environmental like storytelling details, and like Mercury Steam did such a great job in both Samus Returns and Dread with that kind of stuff. Like I think I mentioned before yesterday when I was streaming this, like that big alien that's being studied in the lab in Dread in the background. And like there's kind of like big aliens in tanks. And sometimes I'll just go into a room and there's like some big creature in the background that just suddenly like runs away. I think in like Gavarin in the jungle area. When you first get there, there's all like these animals that kind of scatter. So they kind of took those kind of details from this game and really kind of like evolved it and like I love the environments in this game. I think there's such a vibe, especially with the music and all that. But you know, Dread like really kind of upped the ante in terms of like how detailed the environments are. And I've been saying how I like how a lot of the rooms in this game feel unique and memorable. And I do feel the same way about Dread. I think there's a lot of... There's like that part in the water area that's like this huge like open underwater section. You keep going like deeper and deeper. I love that part. There's like that big room in the jungle area where you're like jumping on all these mushrooms as you go higher and higher. Like that section when you're going to the lava area where there's like a giant like lava tornado in the background, because that's where like they're siphoning energy to power the whole facility. Like, I love all that stuff so much, and yeah, they did a really great job with that in Dread. And Samus Returns too, to an extent, from what I remember. So we want to go down. That weird part that I still have not gone yet. Now that I have the scope, I feel like I am missing something here. Aha. But now that I see that, it's kind of obvious. I definitely should have got this a long time ago, whatever it is. Oh damn, I gotta got this a long time ago. That's cool, you can just like miss upgrades like this. So cool you can get them at like different times. So yeah, that just, I think it separates the shot like that. Which is basically what the wave beam is in like Metroid Prime. They kind of like combine the wave beam with the spazer. I want to see if does anything happen if you charge it with this equipped? So I know if you do this, can I not do it anymore? Before I was creating like an ice shield. That's strange. How do you... Yeah, I was creating like an ice shield when I had bombs equipped before. Does that just like go away, I wonder? That's interesting. So we are right next to where I want to be. I think I am going to hang out in this room for a second and take a quick 5-minute break, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I love how this room looks, like the blue background with the gray architecture and metal and blocks. It's so distinctly Metroid. I feel like the way... I think I said this before, but the way like just the art design of this game, how like there's always these kind of like individual little blocks in the walls and the environment. It just, it's such like a distinctly, it's such a distinct art design. Like like I said, I think there are like some indie games that kind of take after, like Axiom Verge, which I haven't played. Okay, there's another thing here, but yeah, even though there were like a lot of pixel art games at the time this came out, with kind of like the general classic pixel art aesthetic, I still just love how it really just does its own thing with pixel art, with this, with the art design and everything. And I think that's like, you know, really important in most games, and yeah, I just always love when a game has like its own like very distinct, unique visual identity. And yeah, I think like this game and Metroid 1, you know, definitely have that. And that was like, again, kind of another like a slight gripe I have with kind of some of the newer Metroid games, like Dread. I kind of feel like they don't quite have that going on as much. I feel like the environments still look pretty cool, and they still... Or Metroid, you know, it's still sci-fi, but it kind of looks like if you took Samus out, you took like the HUD out and stuff, you could kind of confuse it for just kind of like another sci-fi game, I feel like. At least in some areas, if there's not like Chozo stuff around or anything. But yeah, just like the way this room looks with all like the individual blocks and everything, like it's just like, you just know it's Metroid, you know? Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe like Dread doesn't quite pull that off, and Samus Returns too, maybe as well. I would have to replay Samus Returns though, but yeah, I don't know. I just love when something feels distinct and unique. So maybe you just do go this way. And that leads back to Sand Hill. Is there anything... Let's just check to make sure. Kinda, it's weird that like doesn't stay permanently open. I kind of feel like it should. I do wonder if that was like a glitch or something. It closed. That's very odd. So yeah, you can kind of get... I came here way earlier without the gravity suit. I just kind of got stuck in there. It's weird. Because you can't like do that. Even if I could have got through like the whole sand pit area, I would have just like gone up into Maridia where I was earlier today. And maybe couldn't have gotten anywhere because of like the regular underwater movement without the gravity suit, but I don't know. But again, I don't even think it's possible to get there, maybe. Then again, it's a Metroid game, so like I feel like anything's often possible with these games. So who knows? I love this music. The other Maridia theme is more like kind of threatening and foreboding. This one is like kind of just a bit peaceful, kind of eerie. Also the background's really interesting here. It almost looks inorganic, almost like it's like a city or something back there. I don't think that's what they're going for, but I love how it's dark too. It feels like more mysterious and kind of creepy. Do some sequence breaks here, maybe, perhaps. I wonder if I can get up there. I don't know, that would be tight. What are you doing down here, space pirate? Weird. These things just impervious? Jeez. It's a tough cookie. I can't really use that. I think it's because my sequence broke, and you're probably supposed to have the screw attack when you come over here. But let's keep going. It's cool this does freeze time. So I don't have to worry about them attacking me while I'm doing it. I don't think I'm really supposed to be doing this because I wall jumped to get up here. But let's see. You can do wall jump at any time. You just gotta learn how to do it. But they don't teach you it until a specific area in Bridstar, I think. Like there's stuff like that in Castlevania Symphony of the Night as well. It's pretty cool. Just all these like hidden moves you can do. I love it one of these games when you get to like kind of one of these huge open rooms like this. Like in Metroid, it often happens in the water areas. Like in Maridia, I think that's what it's called in Dread. That section I brought up earlier. It's one of my favorite parts of that game. It's like a really nice sense of place in Dread. You can often like... When you are in that underwater section, I think you can kind of like see the outside of like the indoor areas, kind of, and then like you go into those indoor areas, and it feels like you're in a 3D space, just from a 2D perspective. And then like you can see, is it Ferenia or Ferenis? What's it called? Like the kind of the Chozo like palace or whatever it is area. You can see like the outer shell of I'm trying to remember all the names of the areas. Arun, is that what it's called? I could be getting the names wrong. Which is like the giant spherical area and kind of the center of the map. Where, spoilers for Metroid Dread, but where they were containing the X-Parasites. You can kind of see like the outside of that area in one of the other areas. Stuff like that. I love that. I feel like I do remember this part. Oh, hey, Ender, what's up? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I hope the concert was amazing. It seemed like you guys were having fun. Yeah, I've been replaying Super Metroid. Yeah, I started it on Tuesday. This is my third day playing it. It's been a long time since I've played this game, many years at this point. I played through it at least twice in the past. But I'm having a blast. Obviously, I just adore the atmosphere in this game. It's just so thick. Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it. So I think I'm getting into like the creepy lab area that I kind of caught a glimpse of earlier. I love this part. Yeah. And then this music starts. It's so cool. I love that this is like... This feels like an entirely different area than Maridia. It's just kind of like... I love these like sub-areas within the areas. I feel like Hollow Knight does stuff like that too. I love that. But yeah, it's just such like a cool... It's all like, it's kind of like frozen. There's like icicles. Oh, you never actually played through it? I thought we talked about it before. I would have assumed you had. You've watched speedruns. Yeah, it's like one of the pioneers of speedrunning, really. There's even a blurb in the manual that kind of encourages you to go fast to get different endings. It kind of pioneered the whole speedrunning scene. Or at least was one of the games that did that. You would definitely like it, I think, because it's just so incredibly atmospheric. I mean, just listen to this music. And I love, like, down below you can kind of see like the sandy kind of area. It really feels like this was like built in the, like, on top of the organic environment. So like I think I kind of like, you know, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be here yet because I wall jumped into this area, but we'll see. I wanted to try to do at least one secrets break in this playthrough. I probably could have earlier if I remembered how to wall jump earlier, but we'll see. Yeah, the music is incredible. It sets such a tone, and it's like, it's also like catchy, you know, like a lot of the songs. It's funny. I love like going kind of outside the lab. Oh, I don't want to go back down there. That probably leads... I think I remember where that leads, but I don't want to deal with the sandpit stuff again right now. But yeah, this feels like you're kind of like... Almost reminds me of like in Portal, when you kind of like go outside the testing chamber for a little bit. I love that stuff. Is this something? Get a lot of height. Yeah, they really want you to have the screw attack here, I think. Unless I can do... Well, maybe not. But yeah, I wanted to revisit this because it's been a little bit since I played a Metroid, but also because I just played Hollow Knight, and that, like, I absolutely loved. This is so cool. How I forgot you can even use it this way. And they have like a unique sprite too. I forgot about those. That's cool. Yeah, I was saying earlier, the grappling hook, feels a little janky, but it's still like one of the cooler mechanics in the game, I feel like. It just takes a little bit to get the hang of. And even in Metroid Dread, I still think it's a little janky, so it's kind of the nature of it, maybe. But yeah, this is probably like my other favorite Metroidvania besides Hollow Knight now, so I wanted to kind of like compare the two, and I've also been kind of comparing this game to Metroid Dread as well, which is like the newest 2D Metroid. There they are, so cool. So it's like, oh fuck, Metroids already? What do I do? What do I do? So Samus obviously just has to kill them immediately. So they are like little containment. It's a good. Do they actually attack you in the same way? So they do, yeah. But obviously they're like super weak and easy to beat because they're not actually Metroids, they're Mocktroids, which is, I think according to the manual, it's like, it was the Space Pirates' attempt to like create their own Metroids. They're just a lot weaker. I think that's why this area is kind of frozen, because ice is the weakness of Metroids. So it's how the Space Pirates were like containing them. And the game doesn't tell you that, it's just all like environmental, and I love that. Even without the manual, I could probably like infer that. Have I played the other half of Metroidvania, Castlevania? Of course, yeah. Yeah, I've played all the Metroidvania style Castlevanias. Symphony of the Night was actually the last one of those I played, believe it or not. The first one I played was Circle of the Moon on Game Boy Advance. And then I played all the Game Boy Advance and DS ones after that sequentially. And I didn't play Symphony of the Night for the first time until I got a PS3 and I played it on like I downloaded it on like the digital store there. But yeah, I think Symphony of the Night is great. I do love it mostly. It was the kind of thing where like since I had played all the other Castlevania games that followed it, it didn't quite live up to the hype just because like I was already so familiar with that formula. And like I do love a lot of those other games, like the Sorrow games, Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow, and Order of Ecclesia. So it didn't quite like have the same impact, I think, as if I would have like played it first. But and have you played it, Ender? Because I don't want to spoil anything about it, but there's something about Symphony of the Night that holds it back for me. That's kind of like my big issue with that game. You've seen a lot of it in speedruns. So do you know, have you like seen the whole game? Do you know, you've seen this show? Yeah, I still haven't seen the anime. I'll just say, you probably know what I'm thinking of already, but I'll just say that I love the first half of the game a lot. I think the first half of the game is incredible. I think the design of the castle in that game is probably my favorite castle design of all of those games. There's so many like little hidden details to it. Like every area feels very unique. It actually like feels like a real castle in a way, the way it's like laid out and everything. I think it's one of like the best like Metroidvania environments ever that I've played. I think it's great. But I don't really like the second half of the game, so to speak. And I guess that's all I'll say. If you do know, let me know. But yeah, I don't like where the game kind of goes eventually. I think it kind of drags the game down for me, and you have to do the part I'm thinking of to get like the best ending, and I don't really like that. I think it should be kind of like an optional thing. I never was really fond of that part of the game. I don't hate it. Like it doesn't like destroy the game for me. I still think it's a really cool game and like a classic for a reason. It's still one of my favorite Castlevanias. Like probably tied as my favorite still. But yeah. I think for the time, it's hard to talk about what I mean without spoiling it, but for the time, the thing I'm referring to, and anyone who's played the game knows exactly what I'm talking about, but I think for the time it was a really cool idea, but yeah, I would rather it be something like optional that you like unlock after finishing the game than something that's kind of required. Like there's cool aspects to it, but I just think it kind of drags. I think the game like drags in the second half, basically. Yeah. Um, and yeah, if you have a guess, just say it. And spoiler warning to anyone, if anyone's lurking. Spoiler alert for Symphony of the Night if you haven't played it, because you're probably right. Because I just want to like talk about it without spoiling it. Can I get through there? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Upside Down Castle. I knew you knew. It's so famous. Like, I'm like, yeah, like he definitely knows. But it is the kind of thing. I did watch a streamer play through Symphony of the Night for the first time, like relatively recently, not that recent, but they didn't know. They had no idea. It was a surprise. And I would never want to like spoil that for someone because I knew about it going into the game. It's hard to avoid it. It's one of those kind of things. But yeah, I love the regular castle. I think the inverted castle is a cool idea. But I think I would have liked it more if it was like a bonus second quest kind of deal. Because you have to do it all to get the game's true ending. And the bad ending is so unsatisfying. And there's like unique bosses and stuff in the Upside Down Castle, which is cool. But yeah, it's impressive they managed to make the level design work both ways, but I just, as someone who always likes unique stuff in games instead of like recycled content, the way it is kind of like basically the same areas, just upside down. I think it's just kind of like, it's like the regular castle, but just more annoying. Like the enemy placements and stuff are just like more annoying. And, the music is way more repetitive. Like there's less unique music. So, boss time. So yeah, that's always kind of been my big sticking point with Symphony of the Night, why I don't quite... Like, I still love it, you know, mostly, but I just don't quite adore it the way others do and give it the praise others do because I've never been a big fan of the Upside Down Castle. And like this game has nothing like that. This game is just great, start to finish. So same with Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was just like this giant, unique world. I was almost nervous Hollow Knight was gonna have something like that, but it's just this amazing, super varied world on its own. I didn't forget about this boss, but I do feel like this is probably the most forgettable boss. I feel like I always kind of like momentarily forget about it. Shit. Damn. You saw it as being similar to backtracking in other Metroidvanias. Well, I mean, there's still backtracking in the main castle, like there is in other Metroidvanias. And I love all that stuff, but yeah, the Upside Down Castle, it's just like you've already explored the whole main castle and it's like backtracked through it and all that great stuff. And then it's just kind of like do it all again. So if you think the backtracking's redundant, it's like doubly redundant, you know? Uh, like that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm sure speedruns do. I know they do all these like wild skips. If they're not doing 100% anyway. Metroid's like super known for like its sequence breaking and all that. Again, it was like designed around speedrunning. Guess I'm right here, cool. That's a good save point. But yeah, that's all to say, like, I don't... Castlevania Symphony of the Night is 1000% still worth playing, and a lot of people love the inverted castle. In fact, probably most people do, so don't just take my word for it. It's just my personal taste. And again, I don't hate it. You know, I don't hate it. I still like enjoy the gameplay and stuff. It's just, it's a bit of a slog to me. It's just not as fun as the first half of the game. And again, with Castlevania, I always kind of I always have trouble picking a favorite. Like with Metroid, my favorite's Metroid Prime 1, and then followed by this game and Metroid Prime 2. I kind of have more clear favorites. But with Castlevania, it's just like this giant tie between like Order of Ecclesia, the two Sorrow games, Symphony of the Night. I'm a big apologist for Circle of the Moon, but a lot of it's kind of nostalgia. That was kind of the first like Metroidvania style one I played, at least. I also love Bloodlines on Sega Genesis. Super Castlevania 4 is great. Rondo of Blood. So those are like all my favorite. It's just funny. I like Castlevania 1 on NES as well. I think it's a really cool game. I love how like everything about it is just like very like specifically designed and unique. It's like a short game, but every part of it kind of feels special. I love stuff like that. Lower health now. I suppose it's interesting. It's kind of like a puzzle, almost. Like when to time the shots and the way it moves. I don't think this one's listed in the instruction manual either, so they kind of like keep it a secret. Wasting all my missiles, oh my god. That's cool, the screen shakes. I don't use these on enemies too often because I want to save them. It reminds me of like conserving ammo in a Resident Evil game. Well. Got him. Classic retro game kind of Dragon Boss death animation there when they just kind of fall apart. Have I heard of Zexion? It's a Super Metroid game-like game that's clearly a homage to it. I think I have, yeah. The name's familiar. Is it recent? I brought up Axiom Verge earlier. I'm aware that's like a very Metroid-inspired series. I think I have heard of Zexion. There's another game, I can't remember the name, that's like a Star Fox-like, I think. That I think has like a similar name. I love how like the lab architecture kind of like fades into like the cavern. You can see it in the background and on the floor. Again, that kind of mix of like the space pirate created kind of like areas built into the cavern. I've always really kind of like liked that kind of aesthetic. Not just in Metroid, in like any game. A lot of games have that kind of ruins overlapping with like nature kind of deal that I love. Yeah, it's a recent game on Steam. Yeah, I'll have to look it up because I kind of forget what it looks like. So I think I've heard of it. If this was a modern, like, 2D Metroid, I could just jump up there and I'd grab that ledge and then turn into a ball. Which is, like, a cool, like... Again, I do really like all the extra mobility they give Samus in the newer games. Oh, I think I know what to do here, actually. Really fun. Do some farming. I actually need to refill all my missiles. Metroid is my favorite farming simulator. Have you been playing any games lately, Ender? Am I full? I think I'm full. Using the grapple beam for that is really efficient. I don't think I like did that the last time I played this or figured that out. Because it's kind of like the hook shot in Zelda, like pulls in items towards you. Ugh, what a troll. How do you get that then? You gotta like go up. Not really, you were playing PoE2 for a while, but you kind of stopped. But do you feel like you might go back to it? Path of Exile 2? Is that what that stands for? I don't even know how I know that. I just have like an encyclopedia of all these games. Like an internal encyclopedia, even all these games I don't play. ARPGs. There's so many RPG like abbreviations these days. I know this CRPG is Because ARPG just stands for action RPG, right? Or is that a different terminology? Because I don't think that's what you mean. Or is that what you mean? Because when I think of an action RPG, I think of like Kingdom Hearts or something. But Path of Exile is more like, is that like a Diablo style type of deal? You end up stopping before you get to the end game? Yeah, I've been there before. That was me with Final Fantasy VII back in the day. I never actually finished it, technically. Oh, cool. Secret. I got all the way until the third disc. I just had, like, the final area to do, and I never did it. What is this weirdo? What the hell? I don't remember this enemy at all. I was saying how, like, this game has so many memorable environments and everything, and, like, enemies. This is something I do not remember from this game. This is, like, the first thing that's kind of like, I don't remember these. Kind of funny. They don't even really hurt you. Oh, they do. Top down when you click around and fight stuff. Yeah, like Diablo or Path of Exile, yeah. Yeah, I've never really super been into those kind of games. Though, I don't think I've really tried a whole lot of them, if any. Because I'm more of like a traditional JRPG, turn-based fan and all that. Is there any way to kill these? This is so weird. My god. There's gotta be a way to kill them. I wonder if I'm like kind of having some weird issues in this area again because I wasn't supposed to be here yet without like the screw attack or something. Because I just kind of wall jumped up into here. Oh, I was gonna say though, yeah, back in the day, Final Fantasy VII was like, I hadn't played a lot of RPGs before that. And I was kind of just like going a lot off like my brother's experience with RPGs. And I remember like him and his friends were playing FF7. I like saw the final boss. I like watched them like fight the final boss and everything back then before I even played it myself. But I don't think I actually saw the ending, just like the final fight. But I remember them using like Knights of the Round on it, and then I had this like weird idea that like the final fight was so difficult that like you needed to unlock Knights of the Round. You had to do all the chocobo racing, and when I kind of got to the end of the game, I just kept putting that off. I was like, I don't feel like doing all the chocobo stuff, and I just never finished it. Obviously that was like a very silly kind of like idea, kind of like when I was more like inexperienced with games and stuff, and RPGs especially. So it's always been one of my biggest gaming regrets, because Final Fantasy VII is incredible. I love that game. I still have really fond memories of it. So you can see like the waterfall in the background, and like almost like these like barnacles on the wall or something. So I'm definitely going to go back at some point and replay it and finish it all, especially before I play the remake trilogy, which I'm really glad is finally being finished. You got stuck at Shinra Tower your first time and you didn't play again until your college roommate / friend who was a super Final Fantasy fan. I remember you mentioned that before. Watched you play and helped. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that like the two of you played through like all the games or something. Or a lot of them, anyway. It's funny these fake Metroids are so weak that grappling beam just kind of like destroys them in one go. Seven to 10 and 12. Nice. Yeah, I've played 7 was my first one, technically. But again, I played all of it except the very final dungeon and boss. And then I played 6, which was great. I borrowed that from my friend. Actually, one of my roommates in college had like the PS1 disc of it. We were both kind of going through like a retro game like phase at the time. Not even a phase. I mean, I've just always loved retro games, so whatever. Like we were just playing. But that's when I was like catching up on a lot of the classic. Like I played this game for the first time around that time. A lot of the classic Super Nintendo games and stuff. Because I didn't have a Super Nintendo when I was really young growing up, so I didn't play this later until the Wii Virtual Console version, which is the version I'm actually playing right now. I have it hooked up with component cables. But yeah, so I played FF6 via the PS1 version. Oh no, before that I played the Game Boy Advance remake of Final Fantasy 1 actually. So I played that. And then when it came out, I played like a bit of FF13. But I did not finish it. Not even close. But I was enjoying it. I did like 13. I just kind of fell off it. Like, yeah, it was super, like, linear. I think it opens up later in the game, but I remember the environments being really cool, and Lightning was cool, the main character. I think I got to... Have you played FF13, Ender? I am remembering the part I stopped at, and maybe... I think I did want to like keep playing it, but I did stop at kind of a silly part too, where I think I was just gonna like, all right, I need a break from this game. But I don't want to spoil it if you haven't played it. You never played 13 because you heard the story sucked, and that was the most important thing to you at the time. Really, that's what you heard sucked. Interesting. Because whenever I know that game gets a lot of like flack, but for me, I always hear about like how linear it is, and yeah, maybe the narrative because it kind of has like all these kind of like esoteric terms and stuff like in the lore. It's like one of those games. So I guess I have heard that and do remember that too. How did I do this last time? It was the first fully non-turn-based one? No, it was turn-based. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was turn-based. I could be misremembering. Like, it was different. It was definitely weird. I think, was 12 turn-based? I'd have to double check. I mean, it's been forever since I played it, but I'm pretty sure I remember it being turn-based. I know 15 wasn't turn-based. There might have been like non-turn-based aspects to it. Like I can't remember all the details, but 12 was half turn-based, half not. It's kind of like programming. Well, I wouldn't know. I've tried programming. I was trying to learn Godot, but I just had so much trouble wrapping my head around it. Okay, maybe this is impossible. You actually have to do this. I'm being silly. No, because I never played 12, and I don't really know much about it. I just know it's kind of has more of that MMO kind of feel to it, I think. Yeah, I'll have to double check 13 after the stream. See exactly what its combat was like. I also saw you mentioned Xenosaga. You played through the old Xenosaga games. One of the first RPGs, like JRPGs I saw, if not really the very first one I saw, besides like Pokemon, was Xenogears. Because my brother was playing it. And it kind of has like this mystical quality for me because of that. It kind of, I remember the areas being so cool and everything. Also, Yasunori Mitsuda did the music, and I love him. He did the Chrono games as well, which are like my favorite soundtracks ever. So I've always wanted to definitely like go back and play through that someday, but I have played almost all of the Xenoblade games, actually. So those are kind of like the spiritual successor. They have like the same like general producer. What is his name? Tetsuya Takahashi? I want to get that name right. Yeah, Tetsuya Takahashi. They were like behind Xenogears and Xenosaga, and now Xenoblade. Xenosaga had an interesting story that was hard to follow. Yeah, those games have incredibly high concept narratives. They always have all these like religious undertones and stuff. It's kind of one of my criticisms of the Xenoblade games. I love a lot about them. But Samus, what are you doing there? I'm sorry, I'm just like not progressing through this ROM. I'm just talking about RPGs now and not fully paying attention. I know there's a way to do this, but yeah, I think the Xenoblade stories, my kind of feelings on them. Well, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil them. Because I know you like RPGs, Ender, and I would recommend them mostly. Xenoblade 2 is kind of weird. That one comes with a disclaimer, but at the very least, Xenoblade 1 is very worth playing. But I do really enjoy their stories. They have a lot of cool things going on. I just, I do have some criticisms of them for sure. But they are very ambitious, for sure. My main issue with Xenoblade, honestly, is probably the combat, which I've never loved. It's just kind of like, I enjoy everything else about the games. Like, the worlds are incredible, the music is great. Like, lots of fun characters and stuff. And again, the storytelling is really engaging, but the combat's weird. Maybe you'd like it. It's kind of like a single-player MMO style, but I definitely like some of the games more than others, but I've never really loved the combat. I just kind of tolerate it in those games. I think it's fun in the boss fights, mostly. Finally. I think you can escape me. Gotcha. Yeah, because the boss fights are so, like, epic and everything, and I'm just like... into the story and all that stuff in those moments. So that's when I like enjoy the combat the most. But the regular battles, I'm just kind of like on autopilot a lot of the time. They just announced a new Xenoblade game too, Xenoblade Genesis, which looks very different than the other games. It seems like it's kind of like a reboot in a way. It kind of looks like Fire Emblem Three Houses mixed with Xenoblade. This room is very funny. God. Okay. So, do I jump? This is very awkward, if that's what you need to do. Is there any continuity between the Xenoblade games? Like, or is it like FF? So people always ask that, and it's a difficult question to answer, but there is. I will say there is, because I want you to play. If you play them, definitely play them in order. I would recommend playing them in order. But they still are largely their own thing. It's really hard to say anymore. But the basic thing is, I would recommend playing them in order. That's like the most important advice. But, so it's kind of in between. They're not quite like FF, but they also are kind of like it. It's not like, what's a series that, I don't know, I haven't played them, but I'm pretty sure like Mass Effect, those are all like a connected story. It's not like that, but and it's also not like Final Fantasy where it's like totally separate, so it's hard to explain. But anyway, I think I've said enough. I think you get the idea. And as far as if there's connections to the older Xeno games like Xenosaga, I don't think so. I haven't played all of them exactly, but I think there's probably just kind of like maybe thematic connections and not I think they are kind of their own universes. So yeah, that room, I wasn't fully paying attention, so I can't like fairly critique that room, I feel, but it was kind of janky. There's just a lot of grappling hook stuff in this area. But yeah, I think if I was like not thinking about JRPGs, I probably wouldn't have taken that long. What's going on here? Oh. Cute. Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard about it too. It's like that kind of deal. Like it was gonna be connected, and it's technically not, but you could still theorize it's connected. Actually, it's kind of like the Fumito Ueda games, like Shadow of the Colossus and Ico and stuff, how people always theorize in Last Guardian how they're connected, like a connected world, but it's definitely in no way confirmed, and they could just as easily be separate. that's kind of what I've heard about, like Xenosaga and Xenogears. Maybe, sorta. Game, how do I get back without taking damage? Come on, game. Oh. What? What is this troll stuff? This game is funny. That's so funny. So are these fake too? What? There's a boss down here? Oh shit, this is the big boss of the area. I'm not ready for this. I gotta refill my health. That's wild. It's so well hidden. I love that. That's so cool. Yeah, Gen Atlas. Yeah, that was like my highlight of Summer Game Fest. You should see my... If the VOD is... I don't know if the VOD is still saved. I didn't upload them to my YouTube because I'm just afraid of copyright stuff with those shows, but... If I still have the Summer Game Fest reaction stream of my VODs, I kind of like freaked out when I saw that. I almost like broke my mic. Because yeah, they announced that at the Game Awards a couple years ago, and I've just been like waiting patiently to see more of it, but yeah. But I don't have a PS5, so maybe like with The Last Guardian, with The Last Guardian I didn't have a PS4, and I actually bought one to play that game. And then when I saw the trailer for Breath of the Wild, I returned the PS4 to buy a Switch instead. And then, you know, a year or so later, some very kind friends of mine gifted me a PS4, so... So yeah, thank you for that, Ender, and the rest of you. I think you were there for that anyway, I'm pretty sure. But... Yes, maybe I'll do the same. I'll buy a PS5 and there. I bought it around Christmas, so there was like the longer Amazon return window. I'll buy it to just play that and the Okami sequel. There's a ton of other PS5 games I want to play as well, but those are like the main ones. Because it's just so damn expensive now. I forgot the boss was like located in this lab. Looks like the reaction isn't there. I do have it saved. I have like the recording of it saved. I don't know. I don't really know how I could show you it, but yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's not a big deal. I just kind of like freaked out and was excited. Anyway, we're at the boss. I'm excited. This is kind of the boss that I'm probably the least familiar with. Look at this environment. It's so cool. The music here. I forgot it had this theme. This became Ridley's theme, but in this game it was kind of like one of the general boss themes. It's so damn good though. See, all the little babies kind of like go down. And it's like, oh my god, it's horrifying. It's such a freak. God, this is probably like the creepiest boss in the game. Look at its, wow, look at like the, you gotta like do this. I think, how do you do this? Oh my god, do you just jump out of it? Alright. I know you can electrocute it with the... This reminds me of like Echo the Dolphin, honestly. The final boss in that game, which is also incredibly creepy. But yeah, it has like all these weird, like a second face. Like its shell is like made out of like faces. It's so weird. Like, what a freak. Okay, here it is. How do you do this? There it is. Yeah, get it. I guess it hurts you too, though. I just want to do that. I think I only saw that watching other people play this game later on. Anyway, I'm gonna die. I gotta figure out how to fight this. Do we get it? We got it. I thought I was dead for sure. And all the babies. Oh, it's sad. And those are the enemies you kind of been fighting throughout the area. Yeah, that's one of the coolest boss designs in the game. And ironically, that's like I was saying earlier in the stream. Like Kraid and Ridley and the rest of them are really iconic and kind of return in a lot of Metroid games, but I don't think this thing ever did. But such a gruesome, like incredible sprite. It's even like cooler looking than it is in like the manual artwork. I was looking at the manual in my first stream of this. And let me see if I can bring it up again. Bosses in this are easier than I remember. Like I kind of just, but they're also the way I remember them, which is you kind of just like, I kind of can just like fumble my way through them and still win. I do remember that, kind of just tank a bunch of damage. I wasn't even like trying in that boss that hard and I still got through it, so they're still fun though. They're just not as like skill-based as a game like Hollow Knight or something. So let me see if I can do this. Let's see. Is that showing up on the stream? The manual? But yeah, there they are. Right here. Dragon. The Dragon has an armor-like hard shell, which gives it a lot of defensive strength. But yeah, they look even creepier in the game, I feel like. You can kind of see like the weird faces on its shell. If I zoom in. Fantoon was like a kind of a creepy horror boss too. What's going on? I'll have the map of the planet. Oh, this is what I want. Yeah, you can see like the screaming kind of skulls. It's like its shell is made out of like other organisms they like collected or something. Really cool. Yeah, its eyes look a little more like cartoony in the manual, I feel like. So I love this room. Like this room is I'll always like remember this room. It's just once again there's so many like unique rooms in the game. It almost looks like it's part of like the wrecked ship or maybe a part of the I guess it's a part of the Space Pirate Lab. But you can see like the crab enemies are kind of like fossilized on the ground. I think it was like the nest of like this of Dragon basically. So I think you get the screw attack here, which is the best skill in the whole game. Or no? Oh, space jump. Okay. Not yeah. No, screw attack is probably not until after Ridley. So it's kind of similar to the screw attack. You just can't attack enemies yet. But yeah, the way you can like grapple out and like electrocute that boss when it's attached to you is really cool. I thought it was the screw attack because I knew you had to jump out of this area. So do you need to like blow those up? Yeah, okay. These weird cubes. It's a really cool environment. Again, this game has such a peak, like, 90s sci-fi aesthetic. That room with the cubes kind of reminds me of the Nightmare boss in Metroid Fusion. It's giving me that vibe. So maybe you have to wall jump to get into this area. If you actually get the space jump in the area itself. Alright, the third big boss down. One to go. Yeah, like I said this, I think, last stream, but this game's always, like, shorter than I remember. In my memory, it's like this huge adventure, but... And it still is like a big adventure, but... it kind of, like, breezes by in a way, but that's not a bad thing at all. I think the length of it is great. I think the length of Metroid games is kind of, like, always perfect. It's, like, never feels too long or too short. Obviously, if you're speedrunning, it's a lot shorter, but... So it feels cathartic after struggling with all these grapple beams to just do this now through this room. It's because I'm, like, going in and out of the water. You can mash it. Yeah, this is kind of tricky to execute. You gotta, like, rhythmically tap the jump button. And you can't, like, get out of... You can't, like, turn, really. Well, you can, but sometimes you, like, get out of the, like, animation with it. Does this, like, lead somewhere? Oh, it just hurts you. But I do think it's, like, fun to execute. I always thought that. With this move and the screw attack. I feel like I need to, like, kill all the Metroids, but I don't, actually. You need to do that at the end of the game. You gotta, like, kill them as you move through the rooms. You blow up the planet anyway, so it's fine. Definitely feel like I missed stuff in this area. I feel like there were other ways to go earlier. But I'm gonna backtrack anywhere before I finish the game anyway. Find all the stuff I missed. They really kind of, like, teach you how to use this move with this room. You kind of, like, have to learn it to get through. Which, again, this game has, like, a ton of that kind of game design. Where it teaches you with the level design. Or, like, shows you things with the level design. And it's just, like, all unspoken. So now we're leaving the lab. Oh, this! I'm back here. Okay. Cool. So now that I have the space jump, Places in criteria I can go to. What is that thing on the far right? Above the boss. What the heck does that icon mean? I thought I missed stuff in that lab. I feel like... But it looks like I explored it all, maybe. Where's that sand area is down there. That's where the lab's over to the right, but when you go down this tube... Oh no, I did miss stuff. Yeah, okay, the lab is like... You enter from the left, so yeah, I gotta go back, I think. I'm not positive, actually. See, when you go in here, you kind of see the Metroids. Oh, I can do this now, though. I know what I could do. Go back down into Sandpit Hell. This is the worst area in the whole game. But now that I have this, it'll be a lot more bearable. Yeah, so... Maybe get up here now. Cool. So I don't even need the wall jump now, so I think I just kind of missed the area in Brinstar where you're kind of required to use the wall jump. I'll have to go back there. I can still practice it here, though. And so I think there is like quite a bit of non-linearity in this game. I mean, obviously, if you're doing the sequence break stuff, especially. Ah, alright. I basically got it. That's cheating. Yeah, the wall jumping is quite tricky to execute in this. It's not, like, super intuitive like it is in most other games. It's quite weird. Maybe one of like the first platformer type games with wall jumping though, so maybe that's why. But I also think they wanted to make it like a secret skill you can't easily do, because you can like kind of skip stuff with it. Oh. What types of blocks are those? I don't want to get stuck. Yeah, and this is just that other room. Okay. Oh yeah, this part, I remember this. Really cool. So if I remember right, how do you do this? Okay, you gotta do that. I don't think... Oh, you can hurt it, but I don't want to. I love stuff like this. Just such a weird, unique little moment. I feel like the Castlevania, Metroidvania games have a lot of weird little stuff like things like this. Where there's like one specific unique enemy that appears in like one place and does something weird. Can you even kill those? Thank you, drill friend. Like, what is that thing? Like, is it organic or is it like a... I didn't mean to do that. Some kind of machine left behind by the Chozo. Yeah, I just remember it being a thing. Honestly, my first playthrough, maybe I didn't even figure it out. I might have seen it later on. I don't know. But maybe I did. If this is a required upgrade, I probably did, but I'm not sure if it is. Spring Ball. Okay, it is in this game. I was saying I didn't think this was in this game, but it is. I'm not giving Super Metroid enough credit. Yes, this is so much more convenient than the ball jumping everywhere. No, I probably figured it out, because I don't think I would have missed this my first playthrough. I still think I got, like, most of the upgrades. Or I got all the major upgrades, rather, back then. But this is optional. And then they teach you how to use it, because you have to use it to get out of here. Right here. Cool. And like, again, this room just looks very unique. It's just very memorable. Can I just do this? That's funny. I feel like that's such a classic. There's a lot of games with an enemy design like that kind of like has two long limbs and it walks like that. I feel like it's in Mario too. Okay, I don't think I can go back up. Alright, so the sand area, I still think it's bad. Like, before you have the space jump, it's really annoying to navigate this hallway, but you also don't need to come here before you have the space jump, so... And it's not that bad. It's not like that big an area. Still can't go that way, I think. So I want to go back in the lab. Can I go back into it? Because I don't think there's anything else really here. I should probably do some farming. I've kind of been tapping this, but if you just, if you hold it, it goes quite far. That probably would have helped with that boss earlier. Yeah, I can... What's here? Alright, this room again. I want to... What was that thing over there, though? I overshot it. It's down here. No. Yeah, I do think, like, going back to this game, I think there's a lot I appreciate kind of about its feel and its movement and stuff. But I do think it is the kind of thing where, like, later games in the series only refined Samus's movement further and further to the point where in Metroid Dread it feels so incredible to play. And going back to this, yeah, it's definitely like more clunky. Like the space jump of this doesn't feel quite as good as I feel like it should. I think it feels better in later games. Like it's still fun, but overall, like it's still fun to play. And as I've kind of talked about, especially in like the past streams I did of this, there's things that this game does that I appreciate over Dread. Like its exploration and progression and stuff. How do you get in there? What the heck? What am I not seeing here? Is it like... This is so weird. Looks like I've been in there, I just don't remember. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I did come here then. Right, okay, I did all this. You know what, I think it was a missile upgrade and it marks it... Why does it mark it on the map like that, though? I just want to go see. You're probably meant to come here after you have the spring ball. Yeah, there is some weirdness with the map in this game as well. I complained a lot in Hollow Knight about that. And again, I do like how this one, it fills in each square on a grid. Okay, it's just a map, a missile refill station. Alright. It's kind of what I thought, but... I guess if there's just like a key That would be ideal, so I'd know that, but it's not a big deal. I haven't even looked at the screen yet, this playthrough, I think. Wait. Oh, I completely forgot you can do this. So that's how I'd use that extra ice attack. I totally forgot you could do this. I thought that didn't become a thing until Metroid Prime, where you could like individually select the beams. That's wild. I completely forgot about that, if I ever even discovered it before. Also, what's the L button do? Nothing. Okay, I did want to go back this way. So it is very strange. This was the right way to go, so... The sand. The sand. Okay, here you do mash it. Before I was mashing it, it didn't work. It's really clunky. Because when I was in the wrecked ship, you get the gravity suit, and then it kind of like... There's a place to use the gravity suit right in the wrecked ship that leads you down into this top area of Maridia that ends up just being a dead end. And then you actually need to backtrack all the way back over to like Norfair, I think, and that's when you like super bomb the tube and go in the other way. And I know I've been like complaining, especially in past streams, about how Dread is too straightforward. And that is a very Dread thing to do, to kind of like have a place to use the gravity suit right there and lead you into the next area. But it's kind of like if they're gonna do that, it's weird that it is just a dead end and then you need to backtrack anyway. Again, I like backtracking. I like figuring out the way to go. But I do think that's like an awkward piece of design that they did it that way. Because it did seem like intuitive to go into Maridia from the top. But that ends up being not the right way. You gotta backtrack somewhere else and go in from the bottom. That's strange. Unless I missed something. Yeah, again, like I appreciate this game doesn't always guide you right to the next place you need to be in a really straightforward way, but there are, you know, it still guides you in some ways, and it is weird that, like, I do feel like it kind of felt intuitive to go that way, but then that's not the right way. But, oh well. Shit. So yeah, this is the area the tube goes through. You get a little preview of, which is cool. This is the room I didn't fully explore. This is what I was thinking of. Is that something? It is something. Is it these? What's this? Where does this go? Is this where I came in? So that's just a save room. Interesting. That's funny. Yeah, and then there's down there. There's like a sand pit. Is this something? Can't really tell. It's over here. There's definitely stuff above me. I wish I could see with this. Let's go in here first. Interesting. You probably fall from above down here or something, I bet. There we go. This is a tricky one. I tried this. I did see those blocks up here, but I think they were... I think in the other games, like when you use these weapons, it like reveals what kind of block it is, but that doesn't always seem to happen in this. It's hard to tell. I feel like it's those blocks you fall through, though. Not quite sure what's going on here. This is a mystery. It's a mystery. Probably missing something obvious. Oh, it's a shine spark thing. Okay. Yeah, so you gotta... That's right. So I gotta dash, and then you use the shine spark to get up there. Okay, so I can't do this yet. Save. There's more stuff over to the right. I still got a lot to explore here. I think I gotta go under the floor here. Down to sand pit land. But it is about my ending time. I've been going for about 3 hours. I think this is a good stopping point for the night. before I get into all Lost and the rest of Maridia. So I got a lot to explore here. So yeah. So anyways, thanks for hanging out, Ender. If you're still around, either way, it was good to see you. And anyone else out there lurking, thank you as well. I will be back on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. EST. I'm actually going to shift gears that day. It's June 23rd, and I'm going to play through Sonic Mania, because I played through the classic Genesis Sonic trilogy last week, and it got me wanting to replay Mania as well. And June 23rd is also Sonic the Hedgehog's North American release date, birthday, the anniversary, so I thought that would be fun. And then Wednesday and Thursday next week, I'll jump back into this game and probably finish it off between those 2 days. I'm getting pretty close to the end. I have the rest of Maridia, kind of like the Ridley area, and then like kind of searching for upgrades in the end game. So there's still quite a bit, but I'll try to finish it by the end of next week. You love Mania? Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to revisiting it. I've replayed it a lot, but so I know it well. But it's been a while, and the other classics got me wanting to play it. I never did the DLC stuff though. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, Ender. It's good to see you. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow as well, and chatting some more, hearing about the trip you guys went on. But I'm gonna put up the I'm gonna sign off here and put up the thank you for watching, and then I'm gonna go back to the title screen, because my VODs have been getting muted when I leave it on the title screen too long. I think it's because it's like the classic Metroid theme, and Twitch is like afraid of copyright. So it muted me talking in one of the other VODs, I think yesterday. I kind of got cut off at the end. So I'm gonna sign off here and then put up the end screen back at the title screen. But yeah, all right. So yeah, so if you want to hang out for Sonic Mania, I'll be back next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. EST, and then after that, Wednesday and Thursday, I'll continue Super Metroid and hopefully finish it up. But anyway, thanks again, and take care.